welcome everybody to the TJM WGM. Of course, we all know what those mean, but I'll say it in full. That's the That Guy's a Maniac weekly general meeting where we plan the content for the That guys to do on the podcast. This week we've got a very special guest. Because meetings have special guests, we have a really special guest. Here's Stakeholder Richie.
Hi everyone, I'm Stakeholder Richie. I represent the stakeholders and the other directors on the board for the That Guy's a Maniac. We are the people who pay your money, so we have some ideas and we would like for you to act out these ideas and just try and get a little bit more of the momentum flowing from the talent Richie and Farley, as in Poddy Richie and Farley. So yes.
Office Richie, can I have a quick word over here?
Sure. Let me just get into my Office Richie clothes.
Oh god, it's the same Richie.
Yes, Office Farley, what would you like?
What do you think of this Stakeholder Richie dude? Seems to be like a bit of a dick. I mean, who's he to tell us?
I don't know.
You know.
I find him very attractive.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Maybe you should maybe you should ask his number.
I mean, I don't know if I fancy him in that kind of way. I think I fancy him in a sort of a, not like take me. Oh God, I can't even make this focus. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm a bit nervous. Could you ask him, Farley? Oh, sorry, Office Farley.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for that, Stakeholder Richie. That sounds like a really good idea. Were there any specific previous episodes that did particularly well you were thinking we should kind of copy? And also, I don't think we have your phone number down here on the switchboard. Could you give me that?
You want my phone number? Well, I will give you my phone number in return for some kind of way of contacting or getting more updates from the That Guy's a Maniac team.
Well, that sounds like a fair trade. I mean, obviously, it goes without saying you can find the blog posts and the podcast listed on www.thatguys.co.uk. But if there's more of the TJM brand content you're after, you could always check at That Guy's a Maniac, or one word lowercase, on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
Ah, good. Excellent. Right, let me just write down that phone number.
Okay.
And, Farley, this is my private number, if you want.
Okay. Thanks, Stakeholder Richie. I'll just have a word with Office Richie. Oh, Office Richie.
Hey, Office Farley.
He's just given me your telephone number.
Shit, man, he's fake numbered you. He's fake numbered us.
But it's your number, and he did. You had to change clothes.
I don't think we're allowed to talk about this.
Anyway, that phone number, everybody, is 2002.
Oh, 2002.
2002.
Okay. As
And-
Stakeholder Richie, my whole point of being here was to sort of say, do more of the stuff that was good.
Yeah, you kind of lost track of that, didn't you, Stakeholder?
Yeah, a little bit. I also didn't get what you were meaning when you mentioned.
Yeah, I tried to get it back on track, and
it's a good job we don't script this and we just wing it. And and we're so in tune that we get these kind of ideas. But yeah, remember that episode we once did, which was about 1997 or 1996? 96. Yeah. Why don't you guys do one, but do it about 2002 arbitrarily and for no
all right, that's great. Fuck off, Stakeholder Richie. Do
fucking off. Oh god.
So what are we actually doing, in case it wasn't abundantly clear from that incredibly succinct and concise intro?
So
we are looking at
We are looking at. We are making you listen to, not looking at.
Well, we're looking at.
Well, we're looking
they're
at
listening to us looking at.
Listen to us looking at. Listen to our eyeballs squelch.
Looking at the year 2002 in video games. Why 2002? Because it was 20 years ago. Because it only has 2s and 0s like this year does. I don't know.
Yeah, all of the above.
Yeah.
And more, which we will come to during the course of this episode.
To set the scene, Richie, what was happening in 2002? What were we doing?
Right, so in 2002, there was a lot of shit going on. We personally were in our last year of university.
Mm-hmm.
I was failing, and you were passing, doing our thing. We were playing about on a few little consoles. So it was the GameCube, the PS2, the Xbox, and the GBA. They were at their height at this point. But on TV, we were watching things like Big Brother season 3, which was very famous for having Jade Goody on it.
Huh?
And the winner, Kate Lawler. Did I tell you that I met Kate Lawler once?
No, I can't believe you get that amazing story to you.
No, it was good. She was it was a food festival, and I got a question right, so I was invited up onto the stage to make a burger. I'm not bullshitting you.
Is that reward? Sounds like a punishment.
Well,
Oh, you got a question right. Do some work.
Well, I mean, it was good. Like, the guy was a Turkish cook, and so he was sort of saying, what was the old name for Istanbul? And I'd had quite a few free glasses of champagne, so I basically, at the top of my voice, shouted, Constantinople! Like, proper broad Glaswegian, because that's how people in Constantinople speak.
Yeah. I think that's where the Scottish accent comes from, right? A lot of Turkish immigration back in the day.
Yeah, that's how I met Kate Lawler. Anyway, Kate Lawler, she won.
Hang on, whoa. Where was Kate Lawler? In this, is you, this Turkish chef, you're at a food festival?
She was presenting.
Okay.
So there was a chef, and she was up on stage, and it was weird because it was only when I was up on stage, it's like, I know you. Hang on, you're her.
You didn't. Okay, you didn't.
I didn't hug her.
Where do I know you?
I know. No. It's like, it's either I went to school with her or I knew her from TV. But I mean, it's not that big a claim to fame. Anyway, we've got to set the mood for 2002, not 5 years ago when I once went to a food festival. Right, so 2002, we were watching Big Brother, Jade Goody. You know, that was on TV. We also had the final season of I'm Alan Partridge, you know, the one where he's living in the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's on there. Friends, season 8/season 9 was kicking off. Not the final season, but it was getting there. Buffy's final season started in 2002. So that's how far back we're going. We're talking Buffy the Vampire Slayer time. 24 had started. Big shows at the time were also Sopranos, The Wire, Stargate, with the final season of Farscape as well. So that sort of TV we were watching. You were right into The Wire as well, weren't you?
I'm not sure. You've really thrown me with The Wire. Like, Sopranos, I would have agreed, but I didn't know The Wire was that old.
Yeah?
I was watching it, yeah.
Yeah,
maybe I was late to it, or...
I think everybody was late to it. I think it was once it got a couple of seasons behind it, everybody owned the DVD.
Yeah, because when I watched it, there was a lot of it to watch, so must have missed those early episodes, those seasons.
I just remember watching one season with you in Camden, and I was just like, I don't understand any of this. Everybody was speaking too quietly or fast, or both.
Other stuff that was going on was the euro was introduced in the Eurozone as a currency, replacing all previous currency. The Queen had her Golden Jubilee. She's now on Platinum one. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Lisa Left Eye Lopez and the Queen Mother died in an unrelated instance.
Yeah.
The DC sniper, do you remember that in Washington? Hiding in the back of a car and shooting people with a sniper rifle?
No, but I'm glad you picked up on the cheerier news.
No, just, all I did was look at the Wikipedia page. And it's kind of interesting what makes a world event. Because a lot of it is like oil spill, plane crash, oil spill.
Yeah.
Some prelude to war, civil war.
And other people died.
And then and then there's like a obituaries bit. But Lisa Left Eye Lopez was like up in the, here are major events.
Yeah.
Whereas, other people were in those. And then bring it right around to 2022. So when the SARS epidemic kicked off in China.
2022.
2002.
2002, the SARS epidemic.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. We're now on much like some of the video games we're going to talk about, we're now on the sequel.
The sequel, yes. We will be talking about many sequels in this episode. But also, not just on TV, there was movies and music, because I did my homework here, Farley.
Yeah.
One of the big ones is actually quite related. We've got 8 Mile, and of course, the music that was playing was Lose Yourself. I can't believe that is a 20-year-old film.
I know.
Yeah.
Mad. I still reference it as if it's a contemporary reference. No wonder nobody gets... Because I say mum spaghetti all the time.
Everybody says mum spaghetti, yeah.
But anything that comes up that rhymes with it. And then I said it the other day, it was like, what? Mum spaghetti. I just didn't know. But it's because they probably weren't born in 2002.
Wow. Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. God. So yeah, other films that were out at that time. Minority Report.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Equilibrium. You remember the what's his face? Batman before he was Batman.
Yeah, it seems weird at that. It's the same time as Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Speaking of Buffy, you also had the Scooby-Doo movie as well.
Ugh.
We also had some cheery films. We had Bowling for Columbine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We had Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, we did. Which I'll probably mention later.
Okay. We also had the Resident Evil movie, the Mila Jovovich one.
The first one?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And some other stuff like Men in Black 2 as well. Lots of sequels in general in the movies. But what were we listening to? Of course, we had Lose Yourself. We also had a lot of Sugar Babes. So we had Freak Like Me and Round Round.
Was it the original lineup, Sugar Babes?
I don't know. I didn't even pay attention. They've got the name Sugar Babes.
Because they changed their lineup so much, you can actually use them to reliably date the cultural period, depending on their composition. Much like
what strata they're left in.
Yeah, much like Ammonites in the Fossil Record.
But yeah, we also had Girls Aloud doing their thing. You had Sound of the Underground.
Oh yeah.
You had speaking of very, very changeable, do you remember the Blazing Squad?
Oh god, I do. Yeah, that was
Crossroads. Yeah.
Yeah, that concept of you know what? Bands in Japan which have 50 plus members work really well. How about we round up 27 scroats from the street?
Yeah, 27 blatantly stoners because they're called Blazing Squad.
Blazing Squad with their baggy jeans and get them to kind of sing a poor man's choir version. Yeah.
You got Pink, Just Like a Pill, as well.
Yeah.
So there was some good stuff.
Yeah.
There was remember that song Lazy? Everybody was singing.
No.
I'm lazy in the morning, lazy in the afternoon, lazy in the something. I'm lazy. No?
Not ringing any bells, that one.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad I sang that. It was awful rendition of that song. But it was.
We won't get copyright struck for that.
It was everywhere as well.
Was it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if I played the actual version of it, it would fucking trigger you.
Would it?
We also had Britney, who was not a girl, not yet a woman.
Not yet a woman.
Yeah.
She was a teen.
I don't know. I guess she's legal, but hasn't he done it?
Oh, dude. Yeah, the Budweiser What's Up commercial was still showing.
I mean, yes, and again, people reference that, and
They do.
Yeah, like that is something that should have left the cultural mind. But yeah, that still sticks about.
But they brought it back. Did you see?
Did they?
This is so inane. Let's not talk about that. But
Fuck it. Let's not give it any more time.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was other music. Blue apparently did something with Elton John.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That must have been latter day Blue.
I've no idea. Like, I was like, this is a number 1 or something like that. Like, clearly, I stopped paying attention to the charts at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, you've got Enrique Iglesias' Hero.
Oh, okay. What a weird
good one
mix
to end on.
Yeah.
We're going to stop talking about music. And let's talk about games, Farley.
So, video games. So, looking back, I was pleasantly surprised, although I have a sneaking suspicion this will be the case probably every year in gaming. And I was surprised a lot of good stuff came out in gaming.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, we were in a weird place because it was GameCube, kind of not really hanging in there. It's kind of new. PlayStation, the original PlayStation was kind of hanging in there. GBA, and then heyday of PlayStation 2 and Xbox.
Yeah. So the PS2 and Xbox, they came out very, very closely together.
Yeah.
They were.
But this wasn't launch time, so they'd kind of had a bit to work out what was going on.
Yeah.
And so,
but they hadn't developed who they were yet. And all I remember was the big jokes about the Xbox and how huge it was and all that sort of stuff. The big jokes. Yeah.
Big jokes.
Yeah.
And this is the beginning, I think, looking down the big list of what came out of having 3 different versions of every game.
Yeah, but there were also version exclusives as well. That started happening.
It's true.
Yeah.
And I think, in retrospect, or certainly the things that made my list, the GameCube kind of comes out as having the best exclusives, particularly for 2002.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that was Nintendo being Nintendo. You know, it's like, we are only bringing out our games for our machine. And like, oh, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, but they're all the games on my list are solid fucking games in 2002.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you want to kick us off with?
I want to just get it out of the way. And just very quickly, let's just do it. Vice City came out in 2002.
Okay.
Right,
I didn't
cool.
realise that.
Done.
That was. I thought your getting out of the way was going to be Pokemon Ruby, Pokemon Sapphire.
No. Just Vice City was the biggest game of 2002, easily hands down, biggest selling, all that sort of stuff. So I just wanted to. I don't really want to talk about Vice City. I've already said more than I want to. Do you want to say anything about Vice City?
Well, GTA 3 also came out that year.
Yeah, but that was
or PC, I think.
Yeah.
Is that the last platform to get it?
Probably.
May. Oh no. Oh yeah, Microsoft Windows. 2003 on the Xbox. Christ.
Wow. Okay.
I know. Imagine that. Imagine you've been playing Vice City for a year and then you get GTA 3 a year later. Yeah, I don't really. Of the three of that trilogy, have just been re-released to mixed reception. I have no real feelings about Vice City, really.
No real feelings about it, as in.
I have stronger feelings about GTA 3 because that was kind of mind blowing when that came out, and then San Andreas, obviously. But Vice City kind of gets lost, apart from the loud shirts and the great soundtrack.
See, GTA 3 never made its impact on me. I missed the boat on it. I played it for a little bit, thought this is a great game, and I would do things like people would like. We would just be sitting playing, getting chased by the police.
Yeah.
And I never actually played any of the main plot of it. It's actually it would be a brand new game for me to go back and play. But it was Vice City that I played in its entirety, and like it's also one that I devoured by like doing. What was it that there was something you could do? I think it was 100 taxi missions in a row. And you got the special taxi, or the taxi that could jump. So you could press R3 and the taxi would just jump so that you could do these crazy flips. And I think that is the strongest memory I have of Vice City, is doing the thing to get the taxis so that I could do crazy jumps.
The zebra.
Yeah.
The zebra cab.
Zebra cab, okay, yeah.
It was black and white, yellow and black striped.
Yeah.
Wow, 100 taxi missions. Must have had strong constitution to sit there and just do taxi missions.
I was working at the time, and I
one
had to
after
work.
Another.
Yeah, I was working on a Saturday, and it was dead. So I literally just grabbed one of the PlayStations and sat and played it for I think 4 hours straight, whilst getting paid for it as well.
Nice.
But yeah, it was a thing to do, and I don't think I'd ever go back. I think that the storyline is probably super non-woke. I mean, I suppose the GTA series is not supposed to be, but yeah, I don't imagine it stood the test of time.
No, I don't know, because they're very knowing about it, right? So they kind of pushed through, and actually, particularly Vice City, made a lot of commentary on the excesses of the 80s. It actually probably holds up quite well.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd still get ridiculous loading screens, but it was more knowing rather than, here's someone in a bikini for no reason, other good reason.
Yeah. But yeah, I've definitely spoken more about Vice City than I wanted to. I wanted to get it out of the way and done. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a game that came out in 2002. We've talked about it before. Undoubtedly, we'll talk about it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Over to you. What do you have on your list?
We got the double whammy of Resident Evil Remake and Resident Evil Zero.
Yeah.
Two. I bought them both again on the PlayStation 4. But they make me, when I'm playing them, remember the GameCube. Those little discs, nice controller.
And they were version exclusives at the time as well.
Yeah, at the time, yeah. I mean, obviously both aren't anymore. Both great additions to the series, actually. I have a lot of time for Zero, despite the complaints about the gimmick they introduced. You have two characters, and you can swap between them. So that opened up potential puzzles. There's lots of like, oh no, one of my characters is trapped in a trap room, or blah blah blah, and you have to play as the other one, which it gets a lot of flack for, but is very playable. And Remake until I think Resident Evil 2 and 3 came out. Probably one of my the remakes. remakes. It was probably one of my favourite Resident Evils. Yeah, really, really good game.
I was too scared to play it, and like as I told you, walk in, then there's a door right in the middle of the staircase, and there's not a door there. Why is there a door there? What the fuck is this? And
so
then,
I guess
yeah.
Go on.
No, I just remember somebody telling me, "Oh yeah, you can't kill the zombies, but if you do kill them, you then have to kill them again."
Yes, it was a. I mean, you wouldn't call it a remake these days, I don't think. Would you call it a remake? Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
These words have started to lose all sense of meaning. It wasn't just a faithful retelling. It was a remake, and it introduced some really, really good things. And not only did it change the layout of the mansion, there's this whole thing about the Trevors family, who are the people who built the mansion, including
you've got the girl that's a hunchback.
Yeah. Lisa Trevors, who's a great addition to the series, is this indestructible, basically the daughter of the architect, who, of course, when they finished building this mansion, not the mansion, or maybe the mansion, experimented on them, because that's what they do with everybody, and somehow she didn't die, so she kind of became this invincible thing. She's great. And then they introduced the Crimson Heads, so zombies that if you don't blow their heads off or set the corpses on fire, there was a whole mechanic with lighting corpses on fire when you come back into the mansion.
You don't have enough to actually kill all of them, so you have to. It's like the whole Silent Hill 4, The Room. You have to choose which zombies you kill, don't you?
Yeah. Well, a bit of it's down to random chance with the shotgun, and also you had assist items, one of which would destroy their heads. But yeah, if you're particularly unlucky and you're trying to conserve it, you're not really trying to put all the corpses on fire. You don't want to set fire to all the corpses as you come across them. And yeah, you have these fixed canisters around the building. So depending on your luck and how familiar you were with the game, you couldn't necessarily set them off. And Crimson Heads would make you shit yourself.
Yeah.
Because they're essentially fast and hard zombies. So yeah, it was cool to introduce a new creature type. And so then, interestingly, the GameCube became the Resident Evil machine.
Yeah. Because
they re-released 3 and 2.
And then 4 was on the horizon as well.
Yeah. And so, I could just... In fact, I'm looking at them right now. Those nice 5 discs in a row of Resident Evil. It became the Resident Evil machine for a short period of time.
Yeah.
Over to you.
I'm going to choose something away from the GameCube, because a lot of my list is GameCube or Nintendo. But did you know Warcraft 3 came out in 2002?
Yeah, that surprised me.
That really surprised me. I thought it was a much older game than that.
I saw it on the list, and it had a subtitle, and I couldn't work out if that was an expansion or if that was I think that's the full title of Warcraft 3.
What was the subtitle?
Warcraft 3, A Realm Reborn. No, that's
the Reign of Chaos or something like that.
Not Reform. Reign of Chaos. No.
So Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne, was the expansion.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember what Warcraft 3 was called. Reign of Chaos. Yeah, it was Reign of Chaos.
Let me just check.
Yeah. So yeah, Warcraft 3.
That's really weird, because I definitely didn't play it in 2002. I must have come to it much, much later.
Much later.
Yeah.
Okay. So when do you think you?
Playing it in 2002. I don't know. I had a bit of a PC. I think I fancied StarCraft, and so played through StarCraft. I was like, I wonder if Warcraft 3 is any good, and then played through a lot of Warcraft 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, not in 2002. That's a good game.
That is, but you can't get it anymore. You have to get the Reforged.
Controversial hot take. Yeah, Warcraft 3 is a good game.
Yeah. Oh, God. Wow. You heard it here first, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Give it a. Well, you can't. or you can if you've still got an old PC and Warcraft 3 disc kicking around.
Yeah, if you still have the discs, which I doubt I do. But I do remember being very excited when the Frozen Throne came out. You get to do the whole shenanigans with the demons, and yeah, it was a good game as an RTS, and it was fun, it was engaging, and of course, it was only like a few years later that you got your World of Warcraft from it as well.
Well, yeah, but also Dota and League of Legends, right? Because that was the thing that it really did different from StarCraft. Although StarCraft had, although we don't need to compare them, StarCraft had a few missions where you'd play as What's-Her-Face, and kind of you'd have to get to a base and then the mission would kick off. But I remember Warcraft 3 had levels where you were playing as a hero.
Oh, yeah, you had the hero campaign.
Yeah.
So yeah, instead of doing the actual campaign itself, you could do the hero campaign where you played as Rexxar, and you met up with Virgin and one of the Pandarian guys as well.
Yeah, and then you'd, on a particular level, be running around, and then you'd come to a camp, and then you'd free 3 guys, and then it was you and 3 guys, and then, tank equivalent. Yeah, good fun. And although I hate the design in Warcraft and World of Warcraft, sorry. It really works in this GTS. Oh, you mentioned them the other day. What were those big fat zombie units? Were they abominations? Yeah, great character units and kind of the purpley red. Really, just cool units.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, World of Warcraft stays fairly true to all of those units, and just you get.
Yeah, but it just doesn't work in a open world game. You accept it.
Yeah.
As a limitation in RTS, but not if you're going to be spending hundreds of hours looking at.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you don't accept that at all. No. You shouldn't stand for it. But yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised to find that out. The PC at that time had quite a few interesting things happening, and I remember after I got back from uni that I did pump some money into a decent PC, so I was actually playing quite a few of these games. I'm going to imagine that I did legally acquire all of these games.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Would you've bought Warcraft 3?
I definitely bought Warcraft 3, and I actually remember being excited when the Frozen Throne came out, because I went out and bought that first day.
That must have been one of the last times you could walk into a shop to buy a PC game.
I used to buy PC games quite a lot. Although,
what was the latest physical game you remember kind of getting excited
probably
about?
The latest
going to a shop.
Yeah.
To buy.
That would have been like one of the World of Warcraft expansions, like Mists of Pandaria.
Of course, yeah. Didn't think, did I, when that question came out of my mouth? Yeah, Warcraft 3.
Yeah. Okay, well, what are you playing? No.
What were you playing?
What were you playing in 2022? No, God.
2002. Oh man, there's so many. We're gonna have to do a shout out.
Yeah.
Later on. Something. I'm not too sure we were playing in 2002. We might have been, but I don't remember it being as big here or anywhere really. It didn't kind of get good reviews, or wasn't one of the best-selling games. But it's Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Smash Brothers Melee 2002.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And that was the GameCube one.
Yes.
Oh. See, I don't know if I played Melee. I must have.
Yeah, because I think so. So it came out for Power Regions in 2002,
Okay.
and the first time I remember playing it was we were playing Smash Brothers on Jason's N64, and I'd never seen Smash Brothers before, and it blew my mind. Hadn't heard about it before, and it blew my mind that, oh shit, there's Jigglypuff and Luigi and all this, and then super excited when we finally got Melee. And again, this is kind of before, or I don't remember spending much time online looking at games, so it really was one of those, it's out in Japan but don't really know what's in it, and just having a fantastic time playing through it.
Melee was the original Fox and Falco level 10 team up, wasn't it?
I don't know. It must have been. Yeah.
It must have been, yeah.
Yeah, but then I think, as we know with Melee, we were playing Melee for a long, long time before the next one came along.
Yeah.
And I really loved that game. Not because of the fast movement and the wave dashing and all the things that people complain about, just because Smash Bros. On the N64 was okay, a bit weird, not a good match for the N64 controller. And then they really kind of hit the formula with Melee, with the characters they introduced, the new levels they introduced, and the sort of fact that it was just a Nintendo museum with all the trophies. I just remember unlocking all the trophies, spending hours looking in the trophy.
Oh yeah, and you had all of the collection of the Pokemon as well from the Pokemon.
Yeah, and then also there were all these characters from Japan only games.
Yeah, Mr. Game & Watch. Which was a nutty one to include.
And what were some of the weird trophies? I think it was Discun, who I'd never seen before. It was the kind of the mascot for the Nintendo Online service. And
right, okay.
some kind of schoolgirl trophy, I remember, from some game we didn't get.
No.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
And the music, just a beautiful game. But again, I think we were quite late to it. Otherwise, we would have spent all of our time playing that.
Yeah, I think so.
And we didn't until much, much later, I think.
No.
So we kind of missed out on the Conservatory Kings side of things.
Yeah, I don't think we had a GameCube at uni.
We definitely did. Or did we?
No, I don't think we did.
No. So I think I was playing a lot of these things afterwards.
Yeah, so this was we left uni in May, so we still had another 7 months of 2002. So
yeah, but I remember there was a GameCube kicking around, because do you remember our friend was playing Wind Waker, and you could hook up the GBA to it.
I did that back in Glasgow.
Oh no, one of our friends at uni. God, not to turn it into the nostalgia show. One of our friends at uni had it, because we're like, oh, this is cool, you can play Zelda together. But then it was blitzing through the rupees.
Oh, okay, no, I don't remember, but I did GBA. Do that.
I think everybody did it, and there's okay, now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you play with the GBA attached, because you're just wasting my money.
But
on bombs.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's a good segue, if it is, to Wind Waker.
Yeah, I guess. Fucking Zelda. Actually, no. Go on, talk about Wind Waker. I've got something to follow up with.
Well, Wind Waker. It was a good game. It's the future of the N64 world, but it's been flooded. And you travel about with the King of Hyrule, who's actually a boat, who talks to you. And it's all done in cel-shaded graphics, which was the buzzword of 2002. Everybody was very excited about cel-shaded graphics, which basically just means it looks like a cartoon, and they don't have outlines except on the outside of their character. Which was revolutionary for its time. And
But yeah, quite old by then, eh?
No, I think it was the first and most exciting cell shaded game because it was very 3D as well.
No, because I think Fur Fighters cell shaded.
I mean, all I remember, and
that came out in 2000.
It's like it cell shaded. What is Fur Fighters? You're bugging me now because you're just shitting over my point. Fur Fighters. Looking at the images now. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, that looks quite cell shaded.
It's not quite cell shaded. It is cell shaded.
Cell shaded, yeah. Shell shaded.
Shell shaded.
But yeah, it's got that 3D environment. Wind Waker was a bit more revolutionary as it really, really felt like you were playing a cartoon and it felt seamless. I think the art style in it was done really, really well. It was followed up about a year later with Okami on the PS4, which was the next big cell shaded game. And I just remember everybody talking about cell shaded and how it was fantastic. But then everybody was just like, let's have more realistic stuff. So
no, I don't know. It just got rolled into the toolkit, right? You still get cell shaded games.
You do for cartoony styles and things like that. But I mean, it's a whole different beast nowadays. Anyway,
Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Is it Mad World?
I would say Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is not cell shaded. But yeah.
Controversial.
Not Mad World. Well, Mad World, yes.
Yeah.
You had the other one, which is really cell shaded. The one with the killer. I forget his name.
Oh yeah, Killer 7.
Is it Killer 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jet Set Radio is also 2002.
Yeah. Is it Killer 7?
The Suda 51 game.
I thought it was Platinum. Yeah, no, it's not Killer 7 I'm thinking of, but that is a very cel-shaded game. But there was another one which featured a serial killer. I talked about it on another podcast. It's the one where you sort of go in and it's sort of taking Alice in Wonderland and you're sort of cybernetically enhanced. There's big boobs in it as well.
It's ticking all your boxes.
Yeah. Every single one.
I want it Alice in Wonderland, I want it cel-shaded, and I want big boobs.
That is what Stakeholder Richie would say.
We've run the numbers, and here's what the focus groups are saying.
Oh, God. I'll remember what it was.
Yeah, it'll come to you at 2 o'clock in the morning. But if it comes to you before the end of the episode...
it came out much later. But yeah.
Yeah, that's what I say. Is it became part of the toolkit around this time, and then it's had a... Red 13. No, Red 13, that's the name of the thingy.
Yeah.
13. Is it called 13?
Yeah, 13, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, that wasn't the game I was thinking about. Anyway,
over to you. That was Melee.
Hang on. Not to shit over...
no, you're talking about Wind Waker, yeah. Carry on.
Not to shit on it, but it came out. It also came with the cool special edition of Ocarina of Time Master Quest.
Yes.
Which I probably spent more time on, which I really, really enjoyed. Just playing a remix of Ocarina of Time. You know it so well, but instead they've just put things in different places and you have to do things at different times. And you have to go to one dungeon and then go to another in order to complete the other dungeon. That sort of stuff was great. Just Zelda remixed. I'm glad that the Western world got a flavour of it as basically a free present with Wind Waker.
Yeah, I think it helped the medicine of Wind Waker go down because some people were, I remember at the time,
people were grumbly because they didn't like the cartoon.
Yeah. And the fact that you play as whatever, Teen Link, Young Link, or Boy Link, or Yippie Link, or whatever that Link's called.
Yeah.
Toon Link.
Toon Link, yeah. I mean, that's what Smash Brothers calls it. Toon Link.
Yeah.
What are you clicking away on there?
I was opening a drink.
Okay. Cool. God, it's so annoying. I can't remember that goddamn game.
Never mind. Are you done talking about Wind Wanker?
Wind Wanker. Yes, I'm done talking about Wind Wanker. What do you want to wank about?
2002 was my first Legend of Zelda. My first and only Legend of Zelda game which I enjoy. Which is Four Swords.
Oh yeah, of course.
And Link Awakens. God, what was going on with Zelda those days? It was, oh yeah, here's just have two games in one. So a friend and I, who had GBAs, because everyone had GBAs at the time, and GBA connectors to the GameCube, saw it cheap, and picked it up, the GBA version. And then we played it together. I didn't have any understanding at the time, having not really being a Zelda fan, what was going on, and also the fact that I think the levels were procedural.
For Four Swords.
Four Swords, yeah.
I don't honestly remember. I don't think I even played it. I was one of these sad people who didn't have the connector cable. I had to borrow yours when we did the transfer on the Pokemon.
Yeah.
I was just a solo person playing the games by myself.
Yeah,
playing... No, it's not necessarily true, but for a large amount of time I was.
Yeah, we were playing it GBA to GBA, because confusingly there's another Four Swords adventure on the GameCube.
Okay.
Which was kind of couch co-op. Anyway, there we go. Had a blast playing that two-player. But because it was procedurally generated or something random about it, I remember there were a couple of levels where I think we got stuck. Couldn't work out what to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a bit of an outcry because you couldn't complete the game solo as well. You actually had to have a second player at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what we got stuck on
Yeah.
somehow. There you go. One of my rare Legend of Zelda forays.
Yeah. What else? No One Lives Forever 2.
No One Lives Forever. What a weird. That would be way, way down my list.
Really?
Yeah.
But did you play Nulf ever?
I played the first Nulf, as nobody has ever called it. Yeah, it was good.
I was quite excited when Nulf 2 came out. Continued the GoldenEye feel, PC game shenanigans. So sort of like Austin Powersy, sort of 60s spy, but fun dialogue. But at the same time, it's a first-person shootery game. Yeah, I was happy and I enjoyed that one. In fact, I need to revisit it, and I think we talked about this in the previous podcast as well. It's like going back to play that game again involves like people who have remastered it, like hobbyists, so that you can play it on widescreen and stuff like that. Because I don't remember much about it, but I wonder if I would still enjoy it as a game.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember it being good.
Yeah.
Like, something good about the... Despite the fact that if you look at screenshots, okay, so it's a gender-flipped James Bond, but, you know, with all the trappings of the swinging 60s. You go, yeah, that's what it looks like. But actually...
It played very GoldenEye. It was a spiritual sequel to GoldenEye as well.
But the writing and the story were quality.
Yeah, really, really good. Yeah, and the acting as well. which was surprising. Yeah.
Yeah, weird that hasn't been dredged back up and ruined.
Well, yeah, apparently there's copyright issues, and that's why it's only the hacking community that you can get a playable version from nowadays, because good old games can't even pick it up, which is a shame.
A shame, because there's Monolith and Sierra, both of which exist.
Okay, you say that with trepidation.
No, I think they do. Well, Monolith definitely does. I don't know, Sierra doesn't anymore. But there's still various, still Leisure Suit Larry's and whatnot coming out.
Yeah, it's true. It's just there isn't an appetite for it other than rabid fans, all three of them.
Yeah, it did kind of work as a nice parody, because there were also James Bond films and games coming out at the same time. So yeah, much like Austin Powers.
Yeah, you were getting like James Bond games that were based on the films, and you were getting independent ones that still had Pierce Brosnan, James Bond in it as well.
Yeah, and some are shitty, but some are proper quality.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, and yeah. But yeah, No One Lives Forever. I enjoyed playing that game, even though I can't really remember it particularly well. I just enjoyed it a lot. Probably what's best to be done is just watch it on YouTube and just get out of my system.
Yeah, watch someone playing the No Holds Barred modded version of it today.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
I
get it really confused with Perfect Dark for some reason.
Oh right, okay, I get, and that was they had a remake of Perfect Dark on the GameCube, didn't they?
Was it the GameCube? I think it was the Xbox.
Xbox. Oh yeah, it was Xbox. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's understandable. Female protagonists. Oh dear. What else? I was going to talk. Oh yeah. Another PC game that came out at the same time, which did not stand the test of time, and again I talked about in a previous episode, Blood Rain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that came out at the same time, which makes me worry.
You bring that up every episode. What's interesting about Blood Rain is, you're not alone, is it's one of those cult games, although it wasn't great, it wasn't awful, but everybody who was playing games at a certain time played it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it created an atmosphere. It was atmospheric, and I think that was very, very marketable, because it was that sort of like the late 90s Matrixy, what's it called, Queen of the Damned, sort of that kind of industrial anti-hero. Yeah, Vampire Masquerade stuff. Yeah, and Bloodlines, and all that sort of stuff. People eat that up, and that was very marketable. And I think Blood Rain was quite it was good, because it was like doing the same thing, except you were like playing the anti-hero. Oh no, I'm a vampire, I've got special powers, let's go kill Nazis, and that was the whole principle. And I think that anti-hero thing, I mean, I don't know why people loved it so much in the 90s. It's just like, go to a German bondage club, get your fashion sense, make a game about it, and that seemed to be everything that sort of encapsulated that era. And I don't know. Do you know where I'm going with that?
I think you played it just because she had some pasty white norks in a corset.
Oh, yeah, probably. I mean,
wasn't she like in some Playboy episode as well? Episode?
What episode?
Do you remember they had a Digital Girls?
Oh my god!
Issue?
I'm not googling it. Not googling it.
Sure. Yeah, Blood Rain.
Yeah, Blood Rain. I just really wanted a side note. That came out that year and it was rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of love exists for it.
Over to you.
I've not played the third one in the trilogy. There's so many left, but I'm going to go slightly left field again. Again on the GameCube with Eternal Darkness.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Sticking on the theme of a female protagonist in a dark setting.
Yeah, I think I played like the first level. Is it something to do with Egypt?
You play as a whole bunch of characters essentially doing the same journey but throughout different periods in time. I think they might be related as well. So what's kind of cool is I think you play as one of the first ones and then you jump around, but then they all end up being turned into a statue in this certain room. So as you jump through time and you're playing your story and then you end up in the statue, like, oh look, there's so-and-so. There's, the character I was just playing before. But what it was best known for inventing, a couple of other games have picked up on it, but there was a big gap where nothing was really doing it, was you had a madness meter, and as that went up, it would start to fuck around with your real world. So, it would say the memory card's been deleted, or you'd run into a room and your character's head would just fall off. Or you'd run into a room and it'd be upside down, or there'd be screams. So yeah, it was cool in that it played with you in that respect. It was quite a good game in its own right, and although part of you wanted your madness to increase, these things would happen. It was also quite easy to keep your madness under control.
All right, okay, so yeah, it's a bit more psychological in that fashion.
Yeah, so you kind of rarely got them. And again, I was coming to this game really late. I think it's because I just didn't have any money in 2002.
Yeah, we definitely didn't.
I was picking all these things up. Yeah. I was picking all these things up much later. So kind of aware what was coming, rather than playing. Oh, what's going on? Why's my character's head falling off? Yeah. So and that's why I was playing it, because I'd heard good things about it. But also it's a solid psychological thriller, had a good time travel conceit at the beginning. It was a good doing something else game on the GameCube. Again, an exclusive. I don't think anything's ever happened to it since.
What? Oh yeah, neither it might have. Oofed. Let me just quickly see. Because I have a weird remembering of it having a potential sequel at some point, and it was no, okay, or it was going to be re-released on something else. Shadows of the Eternals, Eternal Darkness 2 for Switch. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So there should be one coming quite soon. Shadow of the Eternals.
2020?
No, it's cancelled.
Great.
Okay, sorry. Get your hopes up. And then just knock them back down. That's what I live for, Farley.
Yeah, I mean, that game could be... The sequel's quite interesting because it was...
A revisit, it doesn't need to be a sequel in any fashion.
Yeah, the combat wasn't great. I remember that. It kind of had this awkward third-person combat.
Like I say, all I remember was I think I was in a pyramid and there was like Egyptian people, and I didn't quite get what was going on. And I think that's as far as I got. I think it was a game I borrowed from someone, and I was like, oh yeah, definitely, I'll play that. And then I didn't, and then just played Kingdom Hearts instead.
Yeah, there we go. Let's go on to our next one. Kingdom Hearts 2002.
Yeah. That came out.
It came out. It's good. It worked. Good. It shouldn't have worked.
I have it on PC, and I'll have all of the thousands of sequels, canon or non-canon, DS and whatever versions that it spawned from it, or the mobile only canon story that only existed in Japan for a month. Oh.
Yeah, but no one. It was kind of a dream come true because, back then, Square, I don't know if it was Square Enix, was the Final Fantasy company. And so just to have Final Fantasy, which felt like this obscure weeby niche thing that only nerds talk about, crossing over with Disney, the biggest, most mainstream entertainment.
And not just that, you were getting proper weeby excited because Squall and Cloud were going to meet up in it and things like that, And Final Fantasy X folk turned up, and so it's like, oh my god, this is the crossover of all crossovers.
And then it wasn't just a tentative Disney crossover. It was, here's Aladdin World, here's Chip and Dale,
here's Nightmare Before Christmas World.
Yeah, it was perfect, and here's all the music and all the bad guys you remember from the Disney films.
Here's a rhythm action game 2 Under the Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before the shit storyline destroy that series.
It just makes it so imposing, that storyline shenanigans. It makes you not want to play them.
Well, it's also, in some ways it reminds me of Sonic, but instead of increasingly obscure cartoon animals, it's just emo teens. So in the latter games, it's like, here's 45 emo teens in hoods that will turn up at the end of the level and say a weird line like, "You must remember." Is this? I'm going to get 3 lines every level for the next 200 hours.
So, okay, just to, how much do you know about the Kingdom Hearts storyline?
I think we did a podcast about it, no?
Yeah, but I have one question which always bugged me. Like, those guys in hoods.
Yeah.
They are sort of reverse Flash versions of other people, right? So Sora had Roxas, and that is just basically an anagram of Sora with an X in the middle.
Right.
And I think everybody had an X in their name, and you could make another name out of it by taking the X out and switching around the thing. Do you know why?
Because they're nobodies? No, I don't know why.
Okay. I'd like somebody to answer that.
Oh, do you not know?
No.
I just remember... I can't remember which Kingdom Hearts it was. Maybe it was 2.8 something. And there was this meme of a screenshot going around of Donald talking to Sora about some insane, complicated, stupid name thing. And I was like, what happened to this fucking game?
Yeah, I know.
Well, it was just nice when you were bobbing along, fight a Disney villain. Oh, isn't this great? Go to the next world, and then instead it's...
Do you remember the In the Hall Mountain King fight?
Yeah.
How epic was that to actually have, the Fantasia music, the Grieg's music.
Fantasia music, later covered by 17th century.
The one that Grieg ripped off.
He was just such a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts.
But yeah, how cool was that? That was an awesome concept, and I don't know. To hell with it. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts came out.
Yeah.
Is there any big ones from your list that we haven't talked about?
Yeah, there is. Time Splitters 2.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Great game. Time Splitters 1 was a weird surprise that launched with the PlayStation. So no one really had much in the way of hope for it, but had it bundled in. and it was great. And then Time Splitters 2 was just everything was bigger and better, and huge cast of characters, the level creator, the music was great, the weapons were wacky, and it was the sweet spot before it went all EA online, sexy strippers, monkeys and Robofish and a whole bunch of cheaty characters, crappy vehicle type stuff. Yeah, that was a sweet spot for the Time Splitters series, I think.
Yeah, and it was good fun. And level creators.
Fun, the
fun. I think that's the best way to remember it. It was good fun.
Yeah. Metroid Prime.
Yeah, again, this is something I mentioned before. I've not played any Metroid games.
Metroid Prime.
Yeah, cool.
Really good. Took it into the third dimension. Scanning away. I don't know if there was scanning in there. Animal Crossing.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That is the GameCube one.
Yeah, the GameCube one.
Where you could famously just take out the disc and keep it running forever.
Yeah. Unless you wanted to play a NES game, one of the NES games. And that was great because we hadn't really... I don't know. There hadn't really been a game like it. And I remember reading Official Nintendo magazine, I think. Or Nintendo Power or something like that. And the reviewers were like, whoa, you want to check out this crazy, weird Japanese game where you pay your mortgage and you don't really have anything to do, but it's really compelling. And I hunted it down. I got the version which came with a memory card because it took up a huge amount of memory.
Yep.
So it came packaged with a memory card. Was blown away with it. Particularly
is that the one that you had your printed out spreadsheets of all the items that you were collecting?
No, that was the
Wii U version.
The Wii version.
Wii version, okay.
Yeah. But that's where I started anyway, and then
I started with the DS one.
Yeah, World.
Yeah.
The first DS one or the 3DS one?
I think the first DS one, and then got the 3DS one as well.
Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, which we're not really going to mention. And then Red Faction 2.
Yeah, I mean, I played Red Faction on your Stag Night, and that was the first time I played it, and I thought it was a really cool concept for a game. Just destroy everything.
Yeah, you can destroy everything. It was fun. It was fun to get a rocket launcher or a tank, and then...
Yeah, it felt like the burnout of 3D games.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. Yeah, that's exactly it. 3 is also a huge amount of fun as well, with an open world. And then 3 shout-outs. One was I got Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex on PlayStation 2, which is awful. I mean, I was a big Crash Bandicoot fan. Crash Bash, Crash Team Racing, Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, 3, absolutely love them. One came out on PlayStation 2, so bad. It's like 2-minute loading screen between each level, and with Crash Bandicoot, the levels are over really quickly. Awful, and it kind of lost its way from then on, which is, and then it's kind of come back recently.
Yeah, I think Activision's got the Naughty Dog license, and they've been pushing them out.
Yeah, I think it must be the world's biggest Crash Bandicoot fan, because who's unironically a Crash Bandicoot fan? And it's just been so wonderful to see them so happy that there's new Crash Bandicoot content coming out. Then I was interested in this game because I think it's one of the only games on Wikipedia's video games 2002 that doesn't have a related Wikipedia page, and I've played it. It's Dinotopia: The Timestone Paradise on the GBA.
What the hell are you talking about?
So there's a very well-known series of books called Dinotopia, like illustrated children's
Wait a minute.
books.
Did you not do a review of this?
I did. Well, yeah, I did. And then some of you may not be aware, but there is a side project to TGM called Kunzi 11's Dinosaurs and Games. It's still, I check on it every now and then, it's still there, despite the fact I've not added to it probably in decades. And so for a while I was just hoovering up every dinosaur game I could get. And so there were a bunch of Dinotopia games. One on the Xbox, the original Xbox. My only Xbox game, in fact, is the Dinotopia Xbox game, which is like a 3D adventure game, which I did complete. It's my only Xbox achievements is this shitty game. And then there was a GBA game, and as you might imagine, as was every GBA game then, I think shitty platformer tie-ins went from being on the PlayStation and the N64 strictly to the GBA, or mostly strictly to GBA.
Yeah.
And it was exactly one of those, instead of power-ups, it's eggs. Instead of jigsaw pieces, it's bones. Awful game.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I want to mention was, and I was shocked because now we live in the world where Disney, Marvel, Star Wars owns everything. So many fucking Star Wars and Disney games. Like about at least 5 Lilo and Stitch games. Different Lilo and Stitch games.
I looked at all of these and I saw the Star Wars ones. I saw the Attack of the Clones tie-in game, which we were going to mention.
7 Star Wars games in 2002.
Wow.
Racer's Revenge, Jedi Starfighter, which we did play, it was okay. Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. I mean, who makes a game with the word Jedi twice in its title? Attack of the Clones.
I think that's the one that I played.
Jedi Knight 2.
Yeah.
Then the Clone Wars. Then the New Droid Army, and then Bounty Hunter. So they've had their between them. They've had their kind of monopoly on or tendrils in entertainment for a long. Oh yeah, I was just really amazed. I mean, I guess the Star Wars film came out, so you should expect it. 7. 5 of which are probably utter shit.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like, there was a lot of drossy Star Wars games that came out, and I would stay away from them unless there was like a serious review. And I think Jedi Outcast, is it Jedi Outcast that you were mentioning?
Jedi Knight 2, yeah.
Yeah, like that was quite highly commended, and I think it's still a cult favourite as well. Yeah. All I remember is a 3D action platformer with a lightsaber, and I think that was it, really. Maybe I played Kingdom Hearts instead.
Yeah. And then I've got 3 shit things which I didn't play to mention, but Echo the Dolphin got a sequel.
Yeah, I saw that.
PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Didn't remember that. Hooters Road Trip.
What?
Was Hooters Road Trip.
As in Hooters, the restaurant chain?
Yes, the restaurant chain. There's a racing game voted as the worst PlayStation game that year, if not the end of PlayStation 1. And then something I didn't remember because James Cameron, film director.
I am aware of his work, yes.
Auteur. Often, these days, I don't think he does very much apart from say, You Can Use My Name. But do you remember Dark Angel? It was called James Cameron's Dark Angel. I think it launched Jessica Alba's career.
That triggers me a bit, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that had a shitty tie-in game. But it's reminded me, not everything James Cameron's associated with is necessarily gold, particularly the
Oh, absolutely not.
Dark Angel spin-off game.
I mean, James Cameron has done a lot of dross as well. Oh, that mixing him up with someone else. Did he do horror movies for a while? Oh no, he's Avatar, isn't he?
He's Avatar. He's Titanic. He's
Sorry, I'm Carpenter. James Carpenter. I'm mixing him up with.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah, right. Okay, is that the last of your lot?
That's the last of my lot. How about you?
Mario Sunshine.
Oh yeah,
that came out. It's a hard game, and I've talked about it before. Mario Sunshine is a ridiculously hard Mario game, and I don't think anyone can contest that. It looks beautiful, and I remember it so fondly. I play it, and then I remember how frustratingly tough some of those challenges are.
Yeah. I think the best thing we got from Sunshine was that is it Delfino Island,
Yeah.
which has come back as Mario Kart tracks,
Yeah.
Smash Brothers stages.
Yeah, and it's got the inhabitants of Delfino Island.
Yeah, it was sort of looked like a Alolan Executor, but smaller.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's an honourable mention because, again, we've talked about it before in great depth as well.
And another GameCube.
Yeah, of course. So, Xbox exclusive, a game I never played. I don't know if you ever played it. The Buffy the Vampire Slayer game?
No, I was going to say, if it wasn't the Dinotopia game, then I...
then you're out.
Yeah.
Doesn't have Dinotopia in the name, I'm out. The whole of 2003, incidentally, is nothing but Dinotopia games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, did you ever play the Buffy the Vampire Slayer
No, I
game?
didn't. That's what I said. I was like, I never played it. I think I always wanted to. It was one of these ones where it's like, could I buy an Xbox just to play this one game?
Wow.
Which has some of the original cast in it. Not Sarah Michelle Gellar, but everyone else. I'm like,
There have been 6 Buffy the Vampire Slayer video games.
yeah, I mean, like, has there? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Starting with the Game Boy Color. The last one was on the Nintendo DS.
Okay. I don't think I'd rate those ones. But yeah. Yeah, never played it. And yeah, that was it. Fatal Frame came out that year.
Yeah. Did it come out in a format that we could play?
Yes. I think that's the PAL version of it came out that year.
Oh, nice. You've not got all of those.
What?
They've not all come to PAL regions, I think. They kind of roll the dice. Should we release this one? Nah.
I mean, it's like the concept is great, and I don't understand why we don't have it over here. But I think it's because, without getting too into why this is a thing, all the characters do look very Asian in it. They're not anime, but the characters look like they're supposed to be Asian characters. And probably that is something that the racist marketers and publishers didn't want. Can we change their face a little bit? You know, for the Western market.
People don't want to play as Asian people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I can think of, because typically you don't really see that many Asian type characters in video games.
No.
Unless they're being Yakuzas or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's changing now, but it was definitely...
definitely now. No, like, I'm talking about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, definitely now is a standard. You wouldn't even bat an eyelid at it now. Yeah. But back then, it was very much... I think that's why we didn't see it.
Famously,
it's very cynical of me, don't get me wrong.
No, well, this is when they were changing, rice balls to jelly donuts in translations of anime because
people weren't as weeby back then or accepting of Japanese culture.
Yeah. Or couldn't consider a foodstuff that they hadn't personally seen or eaten.
What, it's like rice wrapped in seaweed? Fuck that shit, man.
Not rice that you get in a little metal box. Weird.
What else did I have? Oh, Freedom Force. I talked about this one before. The 3D top-down superhero game. Are you googling it as we speak?
Yeah, I am.
But we've talked about it before.
Freedom Force video game, not to be confused with Freedom Force, the video game. Is it one based on some kind of cartoon?
Yeah, it's non-proprietary superheroes.
Okay.
So you have the
legally distinct superheroes.
Yeah, legally distinct superheroes. You got Captain Civil Rights, who's Captain America or whatever his name is. The Patriot, that's his name. He's the Patriot, not Captain America.
Perfect.
Other things, you'll be happy to know that Dragon Ball Z Budokai came out as well.
Fucking hell, yeah.
Yeah, that was the very first one before you had Budokai 2, Budokai 3, followed by the Tenkaichi series. So it's Budokai Tenkaichi, and then you had Budokai Tenkaichi 2 and Tenkaichi 3, which were
Still
great
got a
games.
USB stick with all of Dragon Ball on it to watch.
Not one episode.
No.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that good?
I mean, I definitely played that with you.
Did you?
Yeah. And Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is fine as a game. It's very hard, and I remember my mains were not the characters that I liked. My mains were the characters that I could pass the game with.
No, that's always jarring. That always hits you in your heart. As like,
It really does. It's I wanted to just always play as the Darkstalkers characters, but I just couldn't make them work, because you're always going to end up having to fight the big end boss character who was sort of like this fluid jelly thing, and you need to have as much ranged as possible. So you're needing your Hadoukens, or as I always played, Cable. Like, nobody really cares about Cable as a character. Maybe a little bit since Deadpool 2.
I know. Can you imagine maining Cable and unironically maining Cable?
I know. And I think my main team, and you'll probably vomit a little in your mouth, was Cable, Wolverine, and Ryu.
I mean, I can understand why. Why you have bittersweet memories of it.
Yeah.
It's just you selling out, shilling out.
Yeah. But it did have that.
Weren't there any? There were no even more generic characters for you to choose from in Marvel.
I think they had a Captain America. Oh God. Yeah, no, like, it's bittersweet because like you want to play as Morrigan or Felicia, but you just can't make those characters work. Or you could if you were a better player, I guess. No,
I hear you.
Makes me sad.
Yeah, it makes me sad now.
Yeah. On that note, anything more that you want to say about 2002?
No, looking back at it, 20 years ago. First of all, I can't believe it's 20 years ago. If there are any people under 20 years listening to this, I imagine this must sound like when we were playing games in 2002. People going, "Oh yeah, but some shitty game on the Specky was actually really good." They go, "Fuck off, Grandad." No one gives a shit about your old games.
Yeah, fuck off,
then,
Grandad. I think that's a good name for this episode as well.
Yeah, fuck off. But then saying that, many of the games that we mentioned are still going. Resident Evil's still going. Kingdom Hearts is still going.
Yeah,
there's going to be a new Metroid Prime.
Remasters and remakes, and
GTA's getting a
even fucking
remaster.
Blood Rain got re-released.
Ruby and Sapphire got remade.
Yeah.
Star Wars games never stop. I mean, unfortunately,
Never, ever
quite so
stop.
many. Animal Crossing still going. Crash Bandicoot's back. Legend of Zelda's still going.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And Wind Waker is still, like people are still waiting for a spiritual sequel to that one in the cartoon world as well.
Yeah, and it got brought up when the the cutesy version of is it Link's Awakening came out.
Oh yeah.
Again, Wind Waker was on people's tongues, but
and of course Warcraft 3 got the reforged thing as well.
So in many ways, we never left 2002.
No.
I mean, we get less Lilo and Stitch games these days.
And we're still never going to get that Time Splitters remaster.
No.
Oh, God, I'm a real Debbie Downer today.
We'll never say never. We thought Syndicate was dead, and it came back, and you'd wish it stayed dead. Did you play Syndicate?
Yeah, I love Syndicate.
The new
Syndicate
one.
Wars, but the new one. What is it called? I have it on the PC. I pre-ordered it actually.
And you've not played it?
No. I did play it, but there was something wrong with it, as in it crashed. I did a reinstall and it was causing crashes. I haven't come back to it just because ugh.
Oh shit! So it's just called Syndicate. When do you think it came out?
Oh wait a minute, No, I'm not talking about that Syndicate.
When did
that one came out 2006 or something like that.
2012.
2012.
The first-person shooter.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about Satellite Rain. Is it?
Satellite Rain.
Yeah. We have definitely talked about this.
Satellite Rain. All I'm getting is the Met Office. Satellite Rain. Okay. Spiritual successor to Syndicate.
Yeah. So it's like the people who were doing it, and if you have a look at the screenshots, it's just like, oh shit, this is Syndicate entirely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Interspersed with them. Satellite images of Earth showing the rain.
Yeah. But yeah.
Did you mean satellite rain? No.
As in rain, as in ruling. The reign of a monarch, not as in water from the sky.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks okay.
Yeah,
it looks like a Diablo though.
First time I launched it, it just crashed. So I was just like, I don't know if I could be bothered working out what happened, and as such, I've never come back to it.
Such is the lot.
So glad that I pre-ordered it and bought it at full price, and it's probably like a $5 now. You know.
Such is the lot of a PC gamer. Bought this game. Does it work? No. Oh well.
And it's still new to me.
1,500 games in my Steam library, some of which actually work without me having to.
This game actually still feels new to me, but it came out 7 years ago.
I know. Bad, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, have you not played that new Syndicate remake, Farley? Have you not played it? The new one that came out 7 years ago.
The new one that came out 8 years ago? No, I'm still waiting for, critical reception to come in before, buying it.
Unless it's got Dinotopia Satellite Rain, you're not interested, yeah.
Don't. Unless I can cover it on Kanzi11's Dinosaurs and Video Games, I'm not interested.
Stop plugging the other site. Good God.
The thing is that the metrics are so low, like not even the bots scroll past it, so I'll be able to see if anyone the podcast went to see it, and I'll probably be able to pinpoint roughly where they live in the country as well.
Oh dear. Right, let's end 2002.
Yeah.
That guy's a maniac.
Why'd he bite me?